handheld juicer. Simple, elegant, and yet for something so seemingly straightforward, this design has been causing frustration since the dawn of citrus squeezing. Why? Because most of us are doing it wrong. Hi, I'm Sean with Redesign Revolution, where I discuss all things design and redesign and show how a small tweak can make a huge impact. Today, I'm talking about the handheld juicer and where it falls short. Specifically in number 3, functionality, and number 7, innovative thinking, on my list of 10+1 design fundamentals. You can pick up the entire list below via the link. If you've ever squeezed with one of these, you've ended up with more juice on your shirt, the counter, all over the actual juicer than in your glass or your bowl. You're not alone. Let me show you how to do it the way the original designer intended for it to be used. But first, let's dig into why this design trips so many of us up. As humans, we're naturally inclined to match shapes. Curves love curves, straights love straights. It's just how our brains work. Research in human-computer interaction and ergonomics show that we instinctively pair shapes that visually and physically fit together. Also, as we navigate life, we learn that the placement and the shape of certain things tell us how it should be used or interacted with usually. This is called affordance. Affordance is extremely important in design. It's how the properties of an object or design suggest or allow for specific actions or interactions. Affordances are cues that help users understand how to interact with something, whether physical or digital. Think of browsing a website and you see an underlined word or phrase in a different color. We instinctively know this should be a hyperlink. So we hover and boom, the arrow icon changes to a hand. How about a door handle? The type of handle suggests how the door operates. Is it a push or a pull? A vending machine slot suggests you insert something into it to make a purchase. Buttons suggest you push them. In physical products, this is more obvious, but because of our training in the physical buttons, when we see a digital representation, we assume the same action and reaction from them. A chair affords or suggests sitting. So where am I going with this? Affordances are everywhere, and you don't even realize it. Don Norman, the author of The Design of Everyday Things, which is a great book about design if you're interested in that, said the term affordance refers to the relationship between a physical object and a person. This was in 1988, so we can forgive him for not talking about or mentioning digital products, but I'm sure he'd agree with me when I say it extends to digital products as well, and perhaps in updates to his book, Digital Products Were Mentioned. He also said, designers must create objects affordance to conform to users' needs based on these users' physical and perceptual capabilities, goals, and past experiences. That last bit I think is the most important and regularly overlooked by designers. Past experiences. The designer must think of the culture and how their design will be perceived and used based on those cultures' past experiences or learned behaviors. What affordance does this new product allow and suggest? Affordance is a whole topic unto itself, and let's get back to the juicer and how the functionality, because of the affordance, is just off the mark and causes most people to use it incorrectly. So, when you see this concave part of the juicer, your brain thinks, of course, the lime goes in here, and hey, it fits perfectly. It feels natural, it's snug, and I know this convex part of the juicer has to go into the pulp or the meat of the lime. How do I know? Because that's how this juicer works, and that's how this juicer works. You have to put the pulp in this and screw it around. Push this into the meat of the lime. It's completely wrong when it comes to this juicer. Here's the way this was designed. The lime goes pulp side down, facing the holes where the juice comes out. These 3 holes being the only indication whatsoever that this is where the juice must come out and that the pulp must face them in order for the juice to come out of there when you squeeze this down. If we put the lime in how we want to put it in with the curve nested into the curve, it's impossible for the juice to exit the holes because the rind will be blocking them, causing the juice to squirt all over the edge, all over the place, your shirt, everywhere. Most people have given time to analyze the product and its actions and reactions would realize the juice needs to come out of the holes. So obviously we need to face the juice or the pulp toward the holes. But that's not the user's job. They just want the juice. It's like buying a drill bit. You don't want the drill bit, you want the hole that it makes. relies on the affordances the device is providing based on their previous experiences, and they use it how they think it should be used. They get juice. Messy, it's all over, but they get juice, and they just think, well, it's just a messy juicer, and they go on with life. But if you put the pulp side down, or the cut side down toward the hole, it looks wrong. The lime is sticking up, looks like it's going to fall out. But you put that toward the holes, the convex part of the juicer crushes the back of the lime like a chiropractor, forcing the juice out through the pulp and down into your cup through these holes. It's efficient. It works beautifully, and it's clean. But it goes against everything your instincts are telling you. The worst part? The juicer doesn't tell you this. There are no instructions, no icons, no visual cues. It just sits there, smugly waiting for you to figure it out, and most of us never do. If you've ever felt like an idiot while using one of these, don't. It's not your fault. This is a failure of the designer. A well-designed product should be intuitive. It should guide you without needing words. This one is a tricky product because it looks intuitive, but it's not. And especially one as simple as this, you should easily be able to look at this and see how it works. When a tool relies on us unlearning a lifetime of behavior, it needs to make that shift obvious. Its innovation is great, but it needs to pull us, the users, along with it so we can see how innovative it is. So, as designers, what can we learn? A simple icon showing the lime pulp facing down etched somewhere on the device would solve this problem. Or an etching or relief inside the bowl that matches the pulp of a cut citrus fruit, suggesting one put the pulp toward the pulp, could help. Applying these simple icons and then testing the product with users is really the only true way to see what's working and what isn't. And as designers, it's our responsibility to meet users where they are, not force them to guess. As consumers, it's our responsibility to not ever blame ourselves when a product isn't working how we think it should, or if we keep making the same mistake when we use it. It's not our fault. It's the designer's fault. Through your purchasing power, we can force designers to make better products. We just need to speak up with our money and only buy products that work how we need them to work. So, the next time you grab your handheld juicer, remember, pulp side down, crush the back, not the pulp. And if you're still mad about it, you've got every right to be. For more tips on navigating good and not so good designs, hit subscribe. Don't forget to check out my newsletter, The Design Edge, where we dive deep into the designs that shape our everyday lives. Link is in the description. Happy squeezing, my friends. Let's make lemonade properly.